Hello. Today the tank that is featured in this video is the absolute clown that is the T-34-100 feature matchmaking. That is mostly bots. But that is not the highlight of the vid today. Now, as many of you guys know, till this making of this video, Tank Company is still an Android exclusive game at which left other platform users like iOS and Windows to the dusk of being without a proper support. And yes, even though theirs is the Chinese client for iPhone, but that is another issue which requires paid Chinese VPN to access, and as for the computer player base, we are left with emulators, which is not that helpful by any means. And with updates after updates, the situation has turned into another mess which devour tons of resources, at which you can see here. Of course, for me personally this won't be a problem, consider that my setup is somewhat decent to run this game, albeit suffered from stuttering. No, the biggest problem for me is to both running it and streaming or recording at the same time. In the past, luckily I was managed to record some of my replays on OBS without crashing the game completely, and in case I forgot to mention, this is a very old replay a few months ago that was intended to be a tank review, but scraped due to me being busy. Nowadays, I just couldn't anymore. And with that I decided to stop working on Tank Company content for now. But this by no means bad news though, as honestly I have been taking a break after the ELC marathon grind, and burned out after that, and not as if that tank is interesting to play anyway. As for the future, sure, I will certainly come back to this game, but not in the current state that I'm talking about, and it's about what, a year or so now, with no other implementation to other platforms to expand the player base, and filling up to empty spots in the matchmaking. That and the previous mentions of choosing to overload things like events, cosmetic, and premiums instead of improve further stabilization the performance, which led to even more players not being able to play the game without suffering from lagging and such. Tank Company as a game itself has a decent potential of itself to compete against Wargaming's World of Tank Blitz and even against PC as well. But one thing that worries the most is the direction the developers are heading. The fact that the adding of the artillery class is something that is already controversial enough as just how toxic is the interaction between it and the other classes and the game design itself as a whole. Like, do we need a class that can just sitting in the back, either being deadweight that can't do anything, or being an annoying such that not only punish you for being aggressive and bonus the stun mechanic that only frustrate other players? And oh boy, do I have to talk about map design as a whole. It is thanks to that we have to deal with things like border hugging and camping, because one side light tank get outspot by just one ELC with maximum outstat that can only be obtained by loot boxes and such. Like, seriously, do we need to turn this game into a camp fest and those bottom feeders sitting in the back? Like, if the devs keep going on this road, it's only matter of time before the player base start bleeding out before other platform got released. Right now, if you went to the website and check, it is still pre-registration despite having been fully released for what, 2 years? It's like the developers just don't bother to improve anything such. The PR department is nowhere to be seen to promote this game to a wider audience. The entire active players right now is just around 3,000 or less, and that's not the biggest issues. The biggest thing going around for them is profits, updates then updates, and we got what? Loot boxes or premium tank sales or just more skins that no one asked for, while all we need is optimization and iOS and PC released. So for what's next for me? Well, probably I'll upload other games and such, but for now, see you in the future. Peace out.